Strikes, babies, chickens. Yes, it's the third season of ZA News. So, let's get it on. He is under fire over alleged corruption and nepotism, and factions within his own party don't want him to serve a second term. Is there any good news for President Jacob Zuma these days?
Tim, I am going to have another baby.
Another one? Congratulations, Mr. President. What's that? 21 or 22 now?
You journalists, always prying into the private parts. Hold on, Tim. Mantuli! Where is that wife?
She's gone shopping, Mr. President.
Can you take that little Toto and clean him up, please? He made such a big fufu for a little thing.
Okay, Mr. President.
Is this the one from last month?
Yes, Mr. President.
Then we must get him the papers.
What papers, Mr. President?
Tim, he must learn to sign the contracts, for the tenders. To be a good businessman, like his brothers, sisters and cousins.
The public sector strikes enter their fourth week. Kosatu Zwelinzima Vavi has vowed workers will press on with their campaign for more pay.
Yes, Tim, our demands must be met.
Even if it ends the alliance with the government?
We will not make that mistake again of voting into power the corrupt hyenas and playboys.
Oh, strong words again. But can the workers stay on strike for much longer?
These exploited workers here are used to coping with much hardships, Tim. Hardships, Tim, like this terrible headache that I have right now.
You have a headache?
Yes. Hold on. Excuse me, comrade health worker, but do you possibly have an aspirin for me?
Hey, Winner, can't you see we're on strike here? Footsack!
Comrade, I respect you are on strike, but we
But
have to...
nothing, you big mujo. I'm not a scab, okay? We are not here to get you medicine. Comrade or no comrade.
Oh, my head.
South Africa is to withdraw amnesty status for those Zimbabweans who fled political violence. And after December the 31st this year, those Zimbabweans who have not taken steps to legalize their stay in the country might be sent home. Mendacious, spurious British propaganda leapt up by these troublesome people. But we will be magnanimous and we will welcome the poor lost souls when they cross the border. And we will have our pound of flesh. Hey, is that a chicken, Mr. President? There are no chickens here. Watch your mouth, you foul little bird.
Woof!
You see, there is no chicken here, just a dog, a very fine sheepdog. From world champions to Tri-Nations champs, should Coach Peter de Villiers be axed for the Springboks' poor form?
Oh, no, Madam, what nonsense is this? I mean, look, I admit there were a couple of problems,
Your critics say you don't have a plan to lift the team out of this mess.
No,
Coach.
Tom, there is a plan, everybody schemes like, the team is cock, and so once they piled up the points, then they're gonna drop their guard like ballerinas, and then what do we do, What do we do then? Then we're gonna bring Buckies back and we're gonna moor them.
That's the plan for the Rugby World Cup in New Zealand next year, Coach?
I'm telling you, Tim, there won't even be a blade in New Zealand. You know what, with all the tsunamis and earthquakes and stuff, you know, they being punished.
Punished, Coach?
Yeah, man, moved by the Almighty, you know, because they were tempting fate by beating the Bokke and sending our guys home with red cards, you know.
Stewardess! Stewardess!
Yes, sir.
There is a chicken on the aircraft.
I beg your pardon?
A chicken on this aircraft.
No, sir. I don't think there's a chicken on the aircraft.
Stewardess!
Yes?
The chicken!
There is no chicken, sir.
There is a chicken. I saw it.
No, sir. Beef or fish only. Or did you order the vegetarian?
But.
Yes, sir. I'm fully aware of the noise a chicken makes. But I can assure you there is no chicken on the aircraft.
You know, Tata, I think it is quite terrible when people must go on strike for weeks, you know, give out their full wages in order to gain what? Maybe a few $100 per month more to feed their families.
A few hundred more per month times millions of people. That makes a lot of money, Desmond.
But still, Tada, you know, if government and the unions had just sat down and come to an agreement before the strike, you know, they would have cost these poor people and the economy a lot less.
Well, in these things, at the end, nobody ever really wins. It's like a fierce soccer match that ends in a draw, and each side claims that they have actually won.
But still, I mean, government should have known they have no chance to win. You know, these strikers, they just don't give up.
If Bafana had only a few of those super strikers in the team, we would have beaten Uruguay hands down.
Ah, don't talk about that.
Why not?
Because we are talking about a strike, not about the World Cup.
Well, I think the World Cup was a nice one, and sometimes I wish it had not ended.
Oh, yeah, me too. You know, I really miss the World Cup.
I miss it too. I really do, Arch.
Well, what do you miss the most?
Oh, Dunga and the coaches were throwing bottles right on the ground.
I never saw that, but you know, I miss those little Dutch girls in the short orange mini dresses.
Oh, they looked very awesome.
Oh, yes.
Bloody agent.
President Jacob Zuma is insisting that the proposed media restrictions, including a tribunal that could jail journalists for doing their job, would not as he put it recently, reduce press freedom.
You wrote this report, did you not?
Which report is that?
Poor showing by African teams in World Cup.
Yes, that is correct.
This is a very negative opinion.
But it's a fact.
Silence! The right hand. And this part here, about some countries not needing stadiums so much as democracy.
Well, it's a fair comment.
Perhaps it is not. The other hand. Now, your profile of the new Bafana coach.
Mr. President! Mr. President! Please!
His tongue now. Could we have that removed as well?
No!
Mr. President,
What was that, Tim?
I was asking you about media restrictions, Mr. President.
Oh no, Tim. That is not possible.
But what about the so-called media tribunal, Mr. President?
Yes, really, Tim. Provided, of course, you are not writing about the business deals of the president's family, or the president's state secrets, or the affairs of the president's wives with the president's bodyguards.
The public servants' strike may be continuing, but it seems that more and more teachers are leaving the picket lines to return to the classroom.
You know, it's a good thing that you're going back to the classroom, Comrade Sifo.
And why is that, comrade?
Well, I mean, look at your spelling. That's not on, surely. Unless, of course, you're laying it on a bit thick with the irony.
Is that thick enough with the irony, eh? Eh?
Senior officers who resigned from the police have claimed that they were forced out because they refused to approve Commissioner General Begitele's alleged dodgy property deals worth 700 million rands.
This was not me.
Who was it then, General?
It was some dirty criminal who signed for me.
Really?
What? You haven't heard, Tim? This theft of the ID business is really getting out of hand. These criminals are taking the identity of the citizens and they are doing the dodgy deals.
You are saying that someone has stolen your identity?
Yes, Tim. Look here. They have even taken my medal. The one for wearing the brave hats, and here, look. Even my proficiency badge for gunplay. Gone!
The police commissioner, a crime victim? That's not very reassuring.
How, Tim? The general is on the case and time is running out for these No, they have taken my watch as well. These bloody crooks.
The other wrist. Your watch is on the other wrist, General.
Oh, I see.
Bafana have kicked off their 2012 Africa Cup of Nations campaign with a 2-0 victory over Niger. Not everyone is pleased, though, with the team's performance.
Yes, see, Tim, you know, Niger is a rubbish team. How can you have a team name called Niger, huh? And the Bafanas could only put 2 goals in the back of the net.
What is it that you think the team needs? Who must play at the mouth of the goal?
The answer is right in front of you, my bro.
Hamburger? That will help the team?
No, man, don't make a joke. It's me, Tim. The guys need me, Penny, the boot.
You? Are you hungry still? I mean, as a player?
Me? I'm always hungry, Tim. Always hungry for the goals.
Seriously, Benny? You believe you still have the stomach to play for Bafana?
Jay, check them. I will move you.
On to medical news. The so-called miracle heart operation which saw Rhema church leader Pastor Ray McCauley have his brain frozen for 10 days is becoming an increasingly common procedure. In fact, doctors report that brain freezing is now more widespread than ever.
The tripartite alliance remains as strong as ever. COSATU and the ANC will always be comrades in arms.
So, you met where again?
It was at a party. The way he swept me off my feet and held me as we danced Wangihlebezela endlebeni. You are among the most beautiful women here. I want you to be number 6. Anzange ndazi ukuthi ushukuthini.
Right. Well, what did you think it meant?
I thought, he meant like sex or something.
Right. Yes. And when did you find out, about the polygamy, the other women?
It was after our 4th or 5th date. He picked me up one evening and there were 2 others with him.
This didn't make you angry?
Well, I was cross at first, but when he starts singing and dancing, well, you don't think about such things.
What do you think about?
Well, his mshini wam definitely dinged my dong.
I wish he. But there was a physical side to the relationship.
Yes, with baby oil. In fact, sometimes I felt like a fish being prepared with chips. All that was missing was the butter.
I think we better take this up next week.
ANC spokesman Jackson, drunk driver Mthembu, has warned that interfering journalists who speculate on cabinet shuffles are causing untold anxiety not only to the ministers, but also to their families.
Yes, Tim. This is why we are having the idea of the tribunal.
Why exactly, Mr. President?
Just look at the trouble the media are making for this lovely young wife of a deputy cabinet minister. There, my dear.
But, Mr. President, speculation is fundamental to political journalism. It is a common practice the world over.
Look here, Tim. This fine young woman is worried that her husband will lose his job. And who then will put the food on her plate and, the love in her belly?
A Zimbabwean man has been jailed for a year for describing President Robert Mugabe as an old man with wrinkles.
The magistrate has shown some leniency in this matter, Your Excellency.
How so?
Yes, he conditionally reduced the criminal's sentence by 2 months.
2 months? Despite the grave nature of this insult against the president?
Your Excellency, the hard labor remains.
Splendid.
And he might not refer to Your Excellency as the old again in the next 5 years, which would be, let us see now, when you are 91 years young. Yes, 91 years young.
Good. In the meantime, the following terms are henceforth prohibited in the proud nation of Zimbabwe. Wrinkles, ancient, sagging, droopy, senile, impotent, limpy, and, of course, chicken lips, by order, etc.
Chicken lips, Your Excellency?
Especially chicken lips.
Right.
ANC Youth League leader Julius Malema has revealed that his organization wants to campaign for social justice in Swaziland.
Yes, Tim. This king, he's not a revolutionary king. He's keeping the wealth and all the versions for himself. And he is not giving them to us, the party of the young people.
You want the virgins?
Yes, Tim. These young women, they are Africans. They belong to us. We are the young revolutionaries here. And Swaziland, it is part of Mpumalanga. It must come back to us with the tenders and the GAGA.
South African rugby bosses are tight-lipped about a rumored plot to unseat the Bok coach Peter de Villiers.
He's back, Tim. He's back. He's back.
Who's that, coach? Jake White?
Oh, no, Tim. Not that bloody football. It's Bucky's. Bucky's is back.
So, what about the ANC? Their knives are out for you, it seems, coach.
I got a message for those guys. I want to tell them, if you want to knife me, I'm going to knife you back, I'm going to get hold of Ashwin Willemse, the guys from the flats. I'm a frakstig. Hulle is 'n klomp neiers.
Coach, what did you just say?
I said knifers, Tim. They're a bunch of knifers. You know, with the knives.
So, what are you going to do, Archer, now that you have officially retired?
Oh, I'm going to do just like you, Tata. I'll spend time with my dear Leia and with my children and my grandchildren, and I will read as much as I can and open my mouth only if I really can't help it.
I would like to see that.
Well, just watch.
I bet you 10 rand that you cannot stay quiet more than 1 minute, Desmond.
Okay, you are on.
You will never make it. You just cannot help it, Arch. You have to keep on blabbing and blabbing on anything and whatever, even if you have no idea what you are talking about. People only listen to you because you are an odd little man with a big nose, a big mouth, and even a big...
How dare you, Nelson Mandela, speak of me like that?
You see, not even 1 minute. I win.
Oh, my word, you cheated.
Later. Bring 10 rands.
And an even bigger what?
An even bigger heart. An even bigger heart, Desmond.
Okay, thank you. But leave my nose alone, okay?
Welcome to retirement, Desmond.
Yes.
Prosecutors have withdrawn all charges against journalist Mzilikazi wa Afrika. But the ANC Youth League insists that he is a threat to national security.
He is a bloody agent, that one. Exactly, Tim. He is a shady journalist, a very shady journalist. He's like a bloody boer in the Boeramag.
The Boeramag, Mr. Malema?
Yes, Tim. This agent has Boeramag tendencies. He wants to overthrow the state by peddling his lies and fiction. And let me remind you about violence, Tim. If there is going to be any bloody violence in this place, it is we who are calling the shots and firing them too.
Come to think of it, General, don't you owe this man an apology?
Shoot first, apology later. That's my philosophy.
It took 20 police officers to arrest this reporter, as if he was a terrorist.
He was bloody violent. He was armed with a pen and a notebook. And you know, that is just as dangerous than this big mama here. He is firing the bloody questions and never the blanks.
The Democratic Alliance leader Helen Zille has announced a bold new plan to alleviate poverty.
Yes, Tim. We in the DA believe in doing things so much better than the ANC. For instance, the ANC's plan to alleviate poverty had only the 1 point, whereas our plan has 8 points.
I see.
8 times as many points, Tim. Therefore, 8 times better.
You have just made Patricia de Lille an MEC in your government, not so?
Yes, yes. We've liberated her from the grinding poverty of political inconsequence.
That should please some of your feminist critics, Madam Premier, who want to see more women in your government.
Well, just as long as Patricia remembers who wears the trousers round here, Tim.
Political commentators are suggesting that the real cost of the public sector strike could well be the end of the tripartite alliance. Is the alliance seriously compromised, Mr. Vavi?
We are not techies who are voting for Christmas, Tim. These vultures and hyenas in the ANC are no friends of the workers.
Mr. President, we have heard Mr. Vavi. Any response?
I am very happy with these farmers, Tim.
I beg your pardon, Mr. President.
We in the ANC are now very much more popular than ever before.
But, Mr. President, the unions plan to boo and heckle you at the party's forthcoming General Council.
We are cementing ties with the Chinese, Tim.
Huh?
It is not a brain freeze, Tim. It is still frozen stuck.
Is that Comrade Vavi, our great partner? Our brother?
How? I know how much you earn, Mr. President.
The Zimbabwean government has been accused of jamming outside broadcasts into the country from London. Shortwave Radio Africa say their service is drowned out by a heavy noise, rather like a slow-playing record. Zimbabwe is a very model of an African independent society. It's that chicken again.
Your Excellency, what did chicken?
Get that blasted British fowl out of here. The economy is slowly returning to its former glory. Why are we doing this? Because here we can. From me, Tim, and the team is Hamburger. Goodbye and Futsek.
Hit